Okay, so for this video, I'm going to go through the rest of the problems on the 1.2 test review. There was one, actually that's 2 steps, so that was fine. Okay, never mind. So these are all 2, and there's a couple of 3 steps in there, but for the most part, it's not really any more difficult than what we did. And again, I'm going to go through these quickly, so again, feel free to pause and rewind if you need to as I go through these. If you need any more help, ask your teacher. Okay, so starting on number 3, I'm solving for y. So I have 6x minus 2y. So I've got to get rid of the acquaintance of 6x first. I'm going to minus 6x to each side. Can't combine those two because they're not like terms. So it leaves me with negative 2y is equal to 12 minus 6x. And then I got to get rid of this best friend by dividing by negative 2. And y is going to equal 12 minus 6x divided by negative 2. Now that's a perfectly acceptable answer. Another way I could write this though, because 2 can divide into both those terms, I could write it as y is equal to negative 6 plus 3x. And whoops, both of those are acceptable answers. Okay, I'd recommend just leaving the negative 2 there. It's fine. Okay, let's look at another example. So this one, I'm trying to get the p by itself. So I could subtract the n from each side. Gives me m over a minus n is equal to negative p. Then I got to get rid of the negative, so divide by negative 1. And that just changes the signs on everything. So it'll be negative m over a plus n equals p. P is by itself. I'm all done. Okay. Looking at number 6, I'm trying to solve for y. So I've got to get rid of this x. So plus x to each side. Gives me 5y is equal to 10 plus x, and then divide by 5, and y is going to equal 10 plus x over 5. Y is by itself. I'm done. Okay, next one, solving for a. So I'm going to start by getting rid of the b, so plus 2b to each side. Gives me z plus 2b is equal to 6a, then divide by 6. And I would get z plus 2b over 6 is equal to a. A is by itself. I'm all done. Sorry, there's the work. Okay, next one, number 9, solving for x. So I've got to get the x by itself. So I'm going to start by getting rid of let's get rid of the 12. So add 12. Leaves me with u plus 12 is equal to negative 16x minus y. Now I'm going to get rid of the y, so plus y. Gives me u plus y plus 12. Doesn't really matter the order you write that. Equals negative 16x. And then last step is to divide by negative 16 to both sides. And you would get u plus y plus 12 all over negative 16 equals x. X is by itself. I'm all done. Not too tough, right? Then, looking at number 12, get the solve for y. So I'm going to start by getting rid of the creepier best friend, so times by 2. And that gives me 3y is equal to negative 6 times 2 is negative 12. And then divide by 3. And y is equal to negative 4. Again, solve it if you can. Solving for y, get rid of that 4x first, so minus 4x. Leaves me with negative y is equal to 9 minus 4x. And then divide by the negative, and it just changes the signs. So y is going to equal negative 9 plus 4x. Y is by itself. I'm done. Okay, next one, number 15, solving for x. I can divide by ym at the same time. And they cancel out. You're left with z over ym is equal to x. And then, next one, we're solving for k. So got to get the k by itself, so I'm going to start by adding the b. And that would give me u plus b is equal to k over a. Now I get rid of the best friend, which is a, so I'm going to multiply each side by a. Now this is where it gets a little tricky because I'm multiplying 2 terms. I've got to distribute that a to both terms. Okay, so k is actually going to equal ua plus ba. And k is by itself, all done. Okay. Number 17, I'm solving for a. So I've got to get everything away from the a. So probably the easiest way, I could add or subtract all these, but I'm going to add the a to the other side. Gives me u plus a is equal to k minus w minus v. Then I'm going to minus the u. Gives me a is equal to k minus w minus v minus u. A is by itself. All done. That one wasn't too bad, right? And then this one is probably the trickiest one here. I'm solving for this thing in the denominator. So very similar to what I did on number 17, I'm going to actually move the a first. This is pretty much impossible to solve for anything in the denominator. So I've got to get it out of the denominator first. So that gives me UA is equal to KVW. Now to get the a by itself, I just divide each side by u, and a is going to equal KVW over u. A is by itself, I'm done. So between those two videos, I've solved every problem on that review. So again, feel free if you're struggling to watch either video.